All right. So let's see, are we actually live? This is always the question. It looks like we're live. I actually forgot to check how long ago it was since I last streamed, but that seems to have been forever. So, I'm probably streaming to an empty audience at the moment, but I figured why not stream a little bit more again, especially considering I think this game is very fun and worth doing so. So yeah, let's start this up. So I have been starting to play this game quite a bit already. We're about 11 hours in. It's been a while. So for those who don't know, StarRupture recently came out into early access. It's not that expensive, I believe, and you'll have to excuse me because I got a review key, so I actually didn't look it up, but I think it's like 20 bucks or something like that. And it's quite fun. It might also explain why half YouTube seems to be playing it at the moment, but yeah, as you can see, the game looks gorgeous. The best comparison, before we get into it, is probably Satisfactory, although it is a little bit more streamlined. So what it has in common with Satisfactory is that we are on a fixed map. You can see some buildings all around. There's a couple of other ones here in the back. You can see that base deck over there. Then there's another thingy over there. You can go there, you can explore. So similar to Satisfactory, you have a couple of things you can do like that. There is a map involved as well, which you can use to kind of figure out where you're going. There's a storyline. Honestly, the storyline is better than I think in most of these games. So, that is a thing that is important to me. I know for a lot of factory game players that's not really relevant, but yeah, I like to have some sort of a story in the game, although I do have to say the story is not super strong yet. The real fun thing is you can see in the bottom left we are playing with a female character, the engineer. There's actually 4 characters that you can pick from, and if I understand correctly, if you want to play with up to 3 friends, you can actually play this game together. You're basically, the story is, you're convicts, you're here on this planet to do stuff to pay off your debt to society, literally paying off your debt, and that means that that's where you're working. So, you get built a factory as a job. So, yeah. Like I said, the game looks absolutely stunning, and it's a little bit more beginner friendly, I think, than Satisfactory, at least in some ways. Building is super easy as you build stuff. I'll just show you there. You can actually set things to favorite, so that's super nice. But you also get access to a drone, which actually allows you to fly and just build stuff. Which compared to a lot of these other games is super convenient. Let's see, what else? I'll probably do a review on this game, so if you don't want to sit through me rambling, then that's fine. But yeah, you start out on the barren planet, you start mining some stuff. It's the basic things. You have some basic resources, as you can see over here. You build some miners on top of them, and then you need some power, and then you start building your factory. You connect things up. You do have, and that's actually something really cool. So you do have these conveyor belts. Conveyor belts actually transfer power in this game, so you don't need to build power all over the place. You can make a centralized place to do that, and then as long as that's connected with a conveyor belt like this, that works. But for example, it's really nice for things like these mining units over here, that as long as you connect them to a facility that is actually powered, so you can see this power over here, this solar power, is not connected directly through platforms or anything like that with this miner. It is actually connected through the conveyor belt itself. So that is, honestly, I think that's a very nice and interesting feature of this game. What's also really interesting, actually, is that these conveyor belts, you can see these splitters that I've been using. So let me show you that a little bit more clear. You can see kind of like splitters over here. The conveyor belts are smart. So the resources that you see moving on the belts actually move to the buildings where they're being requested. So in theory, you could assign all your resources to a single belt and they would automatically split off depending on where they need to go. Now, you don't want to do that. If that sounds too easy you definitely don't want to do that anyway, because you can only have so many resources on a single belt, but it avoids a lot of spaghetti with your belts. Now, at the same time, you can see that happening over here. There is still some spaghetti, and this is one of the things I hope that they will be changing somewhere down the line. Remember, this game is in early access. There's no real splitters, so maybe I still need to unlock those, but if that's the case, that's really late. So I need to braid my belt saw together a little bit, like you can see happening over here. So yeah, there's definitely some rough edges on this game, but yeah, I really like it so far. You can fly around with your drone, by the way. There is a limit to how far you can go, so let me show you. The limit is quite far. You can see me standing over there, but yeah, you can just fly all over the map. And you also need to have these protective units over here, because, well, you'll see at some point. Let's see. The sun over there, every now and then, the sun gets really nasty. And when that happens, you don't want to be outside. So you need protective shields to make sure your factory doesn't blow up, and you need to be actually inside. So this is where the little buildings come up. Which actually isn't really interesting, because that kind of encourages you to make a little hub where you stay by yourself as well. So yeah. By the way, if you're one of the 8 people currently apparently watching, then say hi in the chat, because if I set things up correctly, and again, it's been a while, I might not see your chat, but yeah, there we go. Anyway. Okay, so Famicos, you said there is a splitter merge thing called a rail modulator. I actually have that one. Hold on. But it's not working like I thought it initially was. So we have this where is it? Where is it? We have a rail modulator, yeah. So this splits things into 3 things, or 3 things into 1. I've actually used this to combine lines from my miners into a single main line. But what this doesn't do, and that's because the splitting is happening on a horizontal level, this doesn't allow you to split things off. So basically what I was hoping this would do. Hold on, let me show you. So if you have a multi-rail, this is 3 different things next to each other. What I'm hoping this would do, and maybe in combination with this, is actually allow you to split things off through the line. But I don't think... No, I'll actually need to double check. I don't think this works like I wanted it to initially. So let me just set this up. Let's make a line over here. Let me just do it like this. That's probably better. And here I go. I'm struggling a little bit with some of the controls sometimes. And there we go. I'm already on where I needed to go. And there we go. So let's say you have like these 3 lines over here. Now let's say the 3rd item that I need is on this line. Oh, this actually does move through? Okay, I stand corrected. Never mind. This actually does work like a splitter. It's interesting because the whole moving one line through the other line doesn't work if you have single individual lines. Because hence again, this is why I set this up like this, because it wasn't working like intended. I can actually probably show you that. Can I show you that? Let's see. If this works now, then I'm gonna scream at my computer, by the way. Because this didn't work for last time. Yeah, you can see it over here. This doesn't actually work. It's clipping through things. Although sometimes it allows you to clip, I'm not entirely sure. But maybe I've overcomplicated it. Let's try that when we're building the next factory. Because honestly, that would make my life a lot easier. So there you go. Value out of streaming already. I learned something. Anyway. Okay, so I completely forgot what I was doing. So let me check. And actually let me show you what I've done so far. So because this is the first time I'm streaming this game, it might be worth actually doing that. So let's use the drone for that. So we can get some height. So, I have a little bit of a titanium factory set up over here. This is making things like titanium sheets, bars, beams, all kinds of fairly advanced stuff. And then, oh hi, Igor Greenbirds. Welcome to the live stream. It's completely unexpected. I decided I was going to stream like 5 seconds ago, so... Well, by now 5 minutes I suppose, but still. Yeah, we have some titanium production over here. We have a little bit of wolfram, I think it's called, production over there. Now, honestly, this is not really doing anything actively. I just set this up when I needed a certain wolfram component that I didn't need after that. And then my main wolfram facility is these miners over here. It's actually just 2 miners. You don't need a lot of wolfram at all. Set to this. I'm making some stators over there. which is actually a thing that combines both titanium and wolfram. And then you also see a second line going the other way around. I am making rotors here, and apparently my stock is completely filled up, because that's why you don't see anything moving on this line. Because again, these conveyor belts are actually really smart, so they don't request materials. Then in the back over there, there is tube production, I believe. It's again more titanium. It's a little bit better setup than my initial factory over here. I applied some more advanced knowledge that I learned through the game. And then over there we have some calcium production, and as far as I can tell, those are 3 resources, are the only resources we have access to at the moment. There is actually another thing. I keep forgetting how to cancel the building order. There is another thing we have access to. That is, I think, helium. I've been stocking that up whenever I found it. So helium-3. Also, by the way, just as a note, you can set up some storage space very easily. You can give it names, so that's really convenient. And then the main thing we're trying to accomplish in this game, by the way, so if you're not familiar with that, is doing exactly this. So we are working for the corporations, and there's actually 5 of them that we're working for. And each of them are requiring us to send different items to them. Now, what they want depends on the corporation, so they all want different things. So, for example, you can see on the right over here, the Selenium Corporation needs tubes, and I'm currently making those and sending those to them, so you can slowly see this bar filling up. Once I complete this, I will get a reward. I will become a level 6, and I will get my helium extractor. Where does this go? I have no idea. We'll have to find out. But that's the thing I'm currently working on. And then, for example, the future health solution wants glass. These ones want stabilizer, heat-resistant sheets, super magnets, and nozzles. So you can see the amount that you need goes up as you come into the game further. So the clever robotics is the one that have already progressed the most. For a very simple reason, because the clever robotics gives you all your production stuff. So you unlock things like storage, building drones. This one was really important. The multi-rails, etc., etc. So faster rails actually as well. Building in this game is super easy, and I like that. As in super easy when it comes to materials. You don't need specific materials for everything you want to build. Instead, you just have, let me see where I can show you that. You just have basic building materials, and of course for the more advanced stuff we'll need more advanced building materials. I'm actually on the verge of unlocking the second one. But as long as you stock up on these, and these are really easy to make, you can just build everything you want, and if you change your mind and delete something, you just get all your resources back, so you can just basically experiment with that to your heart's content. And I always really like that. I don't think I mean, getting the unlocks should be the important part. Actually getting materials to build stuff, for example, something that sometimes annoys me in Dyson Sphere program, that you can run into situations where you just need a few more of this building and you don't have the materials for that, and it turns into a whole thing. So anyway, enough ranting, let's actually do something. So, I need to start working on more advanced materials, and I forgot what that was. So, let me double check. I needed to unlock the next recipe. So you have this thing over here, the recipe station, where you unlock new things that you can build in your different
Necesito
furnace.
agua.
Oh, and by the way, my girl is apparently Spanish. I think it's Spanish. She's complaining about being thirsty, so hold on, let me deal with that. There is a survival mechanic in this game, so you have calories and water, and this will run out over time. It's fairly slow, so it's not something you really need to actively pay attention to, and she will start complaining once she gets hungry or thirsty. Way ahead of time, as you can see, she's far from that, and she already started to notify me. But every now and then, you just need to eat a little bit, and you're back up. What's the point of that? Honestly, I don't know, because it makes so little difference. It might as well not be in the game, but because it is in the game, you always end up carrying around food. So there is actually a food station I can build. I haven't really bothered with that because the mechanics are probably undertuned at this point, although I don't necessarily need too much survival in my factory games, but that's maybe just me. What was I doing? I need glass, so that's one of the things we need. I also need the inductor unlocked, and I forgot, maybe I needed the glass for that. I wrote something down yesterday. I should honestly just record myself explaining to future me, I should say, what I need to be doing. I wrote down that I need to unlock the inductor. Now, I completely forgot where that is. Is that under the basic items? Okay, so I want inductor and glass in order to unlock the intermediate thingy. So it's in the furnace. So hold on. It should be in here something. Did I already unlock? Oh, I already unlocked it. That was the last thing I did yesterday. So now I need to actually craft some inductors. And that means I need to go and check what I actually need in order to make those. Oh, that might explain why I built a furnace or a fabricator. Oh, this is a fabricator. This is not the thing that makes the. Nope. Okay, hold on. You can delete that one. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Okay, so that's why I built a furnace. No, that's not a furnace. That's a base core. I'm an idiot. Okay, so furnace. And yeah, this is just going to be playing the game and probably doing some math along the way to figure out how much I need of everything. But I just unlocked the inductor, and that I'm gonna pull up my spreadsheet, which is probably not going to show up on your screen. Why is the sound cutting out? Hold on. Let me change that, because that's going to be really annoying for you if that keeps cutting out. It's really weird because I've already said it several times to background audio always being playing. And then it just doesn't work. Okay, now it should keep playing. And here we have my spreadsheet, and here we have the overview. So I want to start making inductors. And that might actually be useful for you to kind of follow along if you are wondering how I do this math. Because I don't like using calculators for factory games. I just make my own calculators instead. Is that efficient? Probably not, but that does help me to understand how the game works. So, inductors. Every furnace makes one of those every 3 seconds. So that means that if I need to have one per second, I will need 3 furnaces making these inductors. So that is one key of the math that we need. If I need 3 inductors, then it produces 1 every 3 seconds. So some buildings actually produce multiple, so you need to pay attention to that. And then we need 2 tubes. So I have tubes in my calculator already. So every 1 per second inductor requires 2 tubes. Now the way I've set up my my own calculator, it's just a spreadsheet. It's very simple, but is that every time I unlock something new, I'll just add it to the sheet, and I can refer back to the things I already put in here. So, for example, the tubes in this case. So now I know that if I want 1 inductor per second, I'm gonna need 3 fabricators, but I'm also going to need 3 furnaces. But I also need 2 fabricators making these tubes, and in order to fuel those with the materials they need, I'm also going to need 2 fabricators making titanium rods, 1 fabricating making titanium sheets, 1.5 smelter making bars, and 1.5 miner making the ore. So you know that kind of helps to figure things out. Wolfram wire, I need just 1, so I can add that to the mix. So that is very straightforward. And then what is this? This is the ceramic, so that is made from the calcium stuff. Where's that in my thing? I need 2 of those per second for every 1 inductor. So just double checking if this makes sense. Yes, it does. So all in all, the downside of this is actually that I'm gonna need a whole lot of tubes if I want to make any serious production. Now, do I need a lot of inductors? Well, probably. But, so I am already making tubes. The only problem is that I'm also using those tubes to feed into the production of the clever robotics no, which one was that? Oh, so this one. So this one is actually almost done. By the time I build everything else, that's probably going to be done. Okay, so that's good to know. We also unlocked something, a new building, but I think that's why I was working on this. I have a wind turbine unlocked now, but oh no, the wind turbine is actually still normal materials. So then what was it? Oh right, I have the cargo receiver and the cargo dispatcher, but I need the advanced materials in order to build those. So these are going to make my logistics a lot easier. The wind turbine, by the way, is also going to make things a lot easier because this produces 200 power, while the main source of power, the only source of power that I've been using so far, is the actually already removed it from my list because it's redundant now. But the solar generator only generates 10 power. So you know, one turbine is 20 solar generators, so that's going to make things a lot easier. Okay, now let me make sure I can actually still see the chat. Let's see, let's do that like this. Chat, where did you go? Ah, there you are. Okay, so let's see. Inductors. In order to make inductors, like I said, we need tubes. I actually don't know how many tubes I am making over there, so let me double check, and in the meanwhile I can show you a bit more advanced stuff. Or at least a prettier factory. Oh, by the way, this game has double jump. Yay! That makes life so much easier when you can actually just get around stuff.
Good stuff.
So, like I said, there's mechanics in this game that will require you to eat every now and then, but you can see there's plants all over the place. Well, there's plants all over the place for now. There's plants that give you calories, there's plants that give you water, and that's pretty much all you need. You can make more advanced food that basically give you more health, more calories and more water. But if the basic stuff also does the job, why would you need better stuff? Anyway, oh yeah, I made a fool out of myself apparently by making this whole logistics things a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. But it looks pretty. So this is a multi-layered production facility. We have miners set up over here. I think this is actually probably the most efficient way to build stuff. So we have those being smelted over here. Then I have a secondary line. And basically what I've decided to do is just make a new line of machines for every new resource. And then we can always just fiddle around with the conveyors. Because as long as we're just producing enough stuff, it doesn't matter. The things will find their way. And it's just very easy to set up a factory like that. If you're wondering what these lines are, by the way, this is the range of these bases that are protecting my main base. So if I try to build outside of this, that won't work. Because the game is basically telling me, okay, if you build stuff here, it's going to be destroyed at some point. So you don't want that. Okay. What are we doing here? We are producing tubes, and we have 4 machines producing tubes, which is actually twice as much as I need. So that's good, because then I can use some of those tubes to actually feed into my inductor production facility. What else did we need for that? We needed the ceramics, and we needed the wolfram powder, no, the wolfram wire. Okay, so I actually don't know. Am I making ceramics still? Let me double check. This first episode, and this is the difference between just playing for yourself and playing while you're streaming or recording. Now I actually need to remember stuff. Which also looks good. Will probably make sure that I'm going to be a little bit more efficient while streaming than I am while playing by myself, because it's less distracting, if you will. Yeah. It's actually less distracting to play with an audience because it kind of requires you to stay on top. Okay, we have wolfram production over there. And we are feeding that in. Oh, right. So this is my ceramics facility, I think. It's not doing anything, but again, that's because we're probably out of production. So these, by the way, are the orbital cargo launchers. So you use this in order to shoot your stuff into space and get it to the corporations. Now, let me double check. Yeah. We are making ceramics over here. We have 2 machines. I've built everything to ratio, so I'm 100% sure we have enough. We have exactly the supply for this. So we do actually have 2 machines making ceramics, which is exactly what I need for my inductors. Okay. So in that case, let's clean this up a little bit. Because I no longer need this. Oh, by the way, something that's really fun. If you delete multiple of the same buildings in a row, the game speeds this up. So that makes it really easy to delete lines of stuff, but it also avoids you accidentally deleting stuff you didn't intend to delete. So it's a very nice quality of life feature that a lot of other factory games should probably take note of. So That means we have the ceramics covered, we have the tubes covered, and I'm 100% sure I have the wires covered because my Wolfram facility over in the back there is barely doing anything. So then the annoying result of that is, I think, that we're going to need to bring everything together. And since I don't have the stuff I need in order to make my cargo launchers, we're going to have to do that manually. So, yeah. Okay. So, let's build some real correct connectors. I am going to put those here. This game has a very nice feature, by the way, where you can set the height of a building fixed once you build the first one. And then you can very easily copy paste that height to everything else you're doing, which makes sure that everything is neatly aligned. Well, let's connect these things up. So this is going to be our little line of ceramics coming in. I think I'm not going to bother making this look pretty, because as soon as we have the glass and the inductors up and running, we should be able to make the advanced materials. And then we're going to not do this ever again. We are actually going to use those cargo transporters. Oh, right, we can't actually do this with the drone. That's the downside of the drone. I just have to do it like this. Oh, I'm actually going to pick up some of these plants because they have water in them.
Good stuff.
By the way, if you have any questions or just want to share with me how your day was, feel free to do that in the chat. This is not a scripted thing or anything like that. We're just here to chill and play. If I respond too slowly, that is because I'm thinking about what to build. Oh, right. You can actually switch back from the drone to normal point of view. Building everything satisfactory style, but yeah. I'll just bring in everything to my main base over here. Don't need to do that, but I have all of my ugly logistics basically centralized over here as well. So as soon as we get the pretty logistics going, probably going to work on that here. Okay, so that is one line done. That's the ceramics. The tubes are gonna come from that direction. So I should probably have built this slightly different, but that's okay. We're going to be removing this. However, I do think I want to do this a little bit more cleanly in that case. So let's delete this one. And instead, I think it would make sense. Yeah, let's put the factory over here. So what did we need? We need 3 furnaces making inductors. So let me place those down so I know where those are supposed to go. There is player collision, by the way, so you do need to make sure you're not building stuff on top of yourself. Okay. Let's flip this around. Let's raise this a little bit. 1, 2, 3. That's going to produce 1 inductor per second. Yeah, okay, I was about to say I can build here, right? There's overlapping bases. Okay. We also want some cargo launchers here, but before we do that, let me make sure I put down some real characters. Yeah, looks good. Combining all of these up. And what I recommend that you always do, by the way, is put up a storage
StarRupture
deposit.
activity detected. I recommend finding a safe place.
Oh, well, the planet is going to explode in a little bit. We can keep building in the meanwhile, though. Might as well get some preparations done. The main base I have is right over here, so... Why did my drone just stop working? Hello, drone? Okay, that's a new bug. Well, this is interesting. I start streaming and the game bugs out. So why is my drone not working? Okay, hold on. Maybe this works. There is actually here a setting where you can set the drone to always show up or not. Okay, This is really weird. Anyway, we'll just do it the hard way. It's not a big deal. But let me see, what direction do I want to build this? I think we're going to build this from here to here. That's 1, 2. It's interesting that the bug occurred the moment she said, like, okay, the planet is going to... Okay, now we have the wave warning. Look at that very angry sun. We do not want to be close to anything outside when that goes ballistic. Now let me move to the other room so you can actually see what's happening. So we have a waving coming in 15 seconds. And yeah, that's gonna be nasty. Now the downside of this mechanic is that
Raptura's core is unstable. Head
it
to
is quite
safety
beautiful, by the way.
immediately.
The first time this happened, I was outside. I was like, huh, I'll hide behind the thingy. That doesn't work. Everything heats up, everything gets completely torched. And yeah, things get really nasty. Oh, okay, so I can't use the drone when there is a wave coming? That makes 0 sense. Why would the drone stop working once a wave is coming? Anyway, it's actually the first time I noticed, so apparently I was just lucky enough not to be actually using the drone. Anyway, yeah, everything gets torched. And all the plants die. All the creatures also, by the way, go underground. So if you want to explore just after this happens, it's actually the safest time to do. But yeah, you do not want to go out once everything looks like this. Which is kind of boring because you just have to wait for like a minute and then you can go back outside. Your machines also overheat, by the way, so they stop working. Which isn't the biggest deal, but it's that actually makes sense. I mean, everything overheats, so it needs to kind of cool down. But yeah, right now I can go back outside. I can manually override the door.
Temperature within acceptable parameters.
And yeah, everything looked very pretty a moment ago, and now everything looks like, well, the star just blew up and torched everything. This does get repetitive after a while, I have to say, but it's fine. It's fine. It's at least an original mechanic. Now, hopefully, this means that my drone is again working. And yeah, it is definitely a good time to take a break. That is sure, for sure. It's also a bit of a forced break, so yeah. Okay, this is now set up. Oh, by the way, every time this happens, every time the sun explodes, there is also meteors crashing into the planets that can give you rare materials. You see some of those over there. The fiery ones, those disappear after a little while, so if you want them, you need to go and grab them now. I already have a bunch of them from the past, I don't know how many explosions we've already had, so it's not a really big deal. And I haven't found a use for them just yet, but that's probably more the advanced stuff. I might regret not picking them up if we need a whole bunch of them later, but like I said, I'm just casually playing through this game like anyone else will. And the reason I'm doing that, not looking at what all the other YouTubers are doing and stuff like that, is because when I make a review of a game, and I do intend to make an actual in-depth review, I try to play the game like anyone else would. Not looking everything up, says the YouTuber that likes making guides, but I realize that a lot of people just play games to have fun. And for a lot of people, having to look everything up is not fun. They get frustrated, which I understand. Now, can I just... Huh. So, you actually blew my mind with the fact that the multi-rail is actually working. So, that means what I can do, I suppose. Hold on. It's going to be so ugly, but it will work. Okay. So what I can do then... Oh, right. So this... Oh, no. Now I remember what my problem was with the multi-rail. So even though the multi-rail does split off, that doesn't really help me. Because... You still need to split it up multiple times, and you can't. So basically I need a combination of this thing as well as the real connector that splits things off, because what I want to have is one line of inputs going into multiple machines splitting off basically, but this thing doesn't split off, it just has 3 different single lines. But if I split one of these lines off, and that's it. So I don't know if there's another splitter coming up, but that still means I need to come up with a smarter way, because I need to have 3 different things going into the same machine. Probably doesn't need to be too complicated, so okay. So we'll just do it like this. Let me make sure this is actually aligned.
Selenium received its order.
Oh, there we
Your
go.
reward, as always, is waiting in the corporate terminal.
We actually already unlocked the reward for the tubes, like I said, so that's really not a problem. Okay, and then we have the line over here. One bug that I found is that when you're switching from building these splitters into the actual rails, the rail somehow gets positioned really low, so you actually need to scroll up, raise the level of the rail in order for that to function. But, once you know that, it's very easy to do. Why is this not working, by the way? Doesn't really matter. We'll deal with that with a few turbines in a second. But... okay. Let's connect this up like so, and like so, and like so. I mean, it's not working because I added new machines to it, of course, but I usually build my stuff with a bit of additional power. Now here we go. This is actually colliding, so I cannot build my line through here. So I'm gonna need to raise these platforms in order to go over the one I already have. Yeah, so that is really annoying. So if anyone has a clever solution for that in the chat, let me know. Yeah, I don't think it works together with the modulator, because one way or another you're splitting off 3 lines into what you want to happen. I mean, what you could do, I guess, in theory, is have a multi-rail splitting the 3 lines into another 3 lines. But that gets convoluted so fast. So yeah, I do think that would work. But honestly, the way I've been doing it so far is, I think, just easier. I did notice that you actually need to raise the level of these things quite a bit. So that is going to be a bit annoying. I think, based on my previous build, it needed to be 2 levels higher than everything else, so that's not in the right position. There we go. There's a surprising amount of people in the chat, so that is very nice. I really appreciate you, and it's also fun to see people actually showing up to the live stream that I didn't announce, didn't plan. When I ate my dinner, I didn't know I was going to be streaming today, so and I just ate dinner. I am in the Netherlands, as you might hear from my accent, so it is in the evening here. Probably going to play for a little while still. Ah, clipping. Do we go under? That might work, actually. Oh, there is a video image saying Starfield. That must have come in from my old stream. So actually, hold on. Let me go to my my stream setup to check. I have no idea actually where the thumbnail then is coming from. I changed the name. I'll have to double check. I actually don't remember where the thumbnail is set for the live stream, and I don't want to mess up this one by changing it now. So I'll just leave it as it is, and I'll change it once it's done. It says Starfield TDA Captain Block. Yeah, yeah. But I changed that. I know I changed that. I don't think... I'm not sure if I can change it while the stream is ongoing. I might be able to do that. Hold on. Huh. So, welcome to my noob stream. I think it was, well, the last time I streamed, obviously, it was Starfield. But yeah, this it is all part of my secret plan in order to get the people that are into Starfield to join this stream, of course. I mean, it's like we landed on a planet with our spaceship and we just started building a factory. It's the new DLC from Starfield dropping, guys. Didn't you know? It's super exciting. Now, how the hell did we get that third line in there? Am I just stupid? Is this gonna work? I mean, there must be. I mean, if this is one of the things that I would mention in a review, by the way. If this is the best way of doing this, then that definitely needs to be improved. And not just because, if it's not obvious how it should be done, then there's a lot of people that are not going to figure out how it should be done. Also, why am I struggling to get this up and running now? I'm just playing bad now. Anyway. Okay, that works. I mean, it kind of looks cool. But it's super convoluted to set up, so that is not a good thing. Anyway, we are going to copy this. Set that, and then this is going to go there, and this is going to go there. Put the platform same level, press middle button, and you can raise or lower the splitter only. Put the platform same level.
The Raptura is in its stable state.
Do you mean like this?
The climate of Arcadia is returning to normal.
Or are you saying something else that I'm not understanding? I mean, I know how to lower and raise a building. That's what I've been doing, but if I'm misunderstanding you, let me know, by the way, because if there's a cleverer way of doing this, then I definitely want to know, because this works, but it's not pretty. This probably needs to go the other way. No, this could be fine. This one is connected there, this one is connected there. Yeah, no, actually this one does need to go the other way. Because this is going to be the tubes. Alright. Okay, now want to see something cool? Well, in order for me to show you that, we need some power. So let me build some thingies. I'll just put them over here, that's fine. So that is 800 power. That's probably as much power as I have in my entire base. But what I wanted to show you is this. So once I now... Hello, where am I? Here. We are going to make inductors over here. And over there. And over there. And everything should be powered. Now, because these conductors require 3 items, and one of them being ceramics, we should see... This is going to take a moment. Those ceramics coming in on this line. You can already see them. I'm not sure if it's showing up and you have a large screen, but you can already see the ceramics on this line incoming now. So this entire conveyor belt was empty until there was a machine on it that actually needed something. And once there is, you can see the resources coming in over there. Once there is, stuff starts moving on the belt. If the machines are full, there will be no longer a request, and then stuff stops moving on the belt, which is a super clean process because you don't want to know how many times I've built, for example, something in Satisfactory. You have stuff on the belt, you mess something up, belts get cluttered, and you spend the next 1.5 hours cleaning up your own mess, basically, cleaning up your belts. I mean, it's part of the game. That's not meant as a complaint, but not having to do that, I think in a game where, you know, we're living in the sci-fi world and things are supposed to be smart, having actual smart belts is actually really, really fun. So yeah, you can see the resources already coming in. Anyway, that doesn't mean the machine is going to do anything, because of course we need the other 2 resources as well, but I have all of those in production already, so all we need to do is go and grab them. And I can actually remove the orbital collectors from this facility as well, because we already uploaded all the tubes that we're ever going to need.
Come to mama.
Let me pick up some plants along the way. By the way, plants and pretty much everything else you can pick up almost gives you research points as well, which you can also use to get that reputation with the faction. So if you want to kind of skip a little bit of production, and now I know why my drone was disabled, let's put it back to always, because that is super convenient and something that I think a lot of people are going to miss. Yeah. So the orbital collectors no longer need to be here. We can remove you. I like that it also removes all the attached belts. So you can see that this is now a completely clean facility. We have the tubes over here. I'm actually going to run my line here a little bit different. Let's still move that through the storage, so we always have some tubing. I didn't do that at the beginning, and I learned from that because it's really annoying. Let me switch back to normal mode, because we're going to have to put a very ugly long line in here somewhere. We need to be up there. Oh, I missed the earlier comment, by the way. People that are into Starfield, I didn't know there were any. Unpopular opinion, maybe, I actually kind of like the game. I played a lot of it. I also think it could have been a better game, but I really, really enjoyed, especially my first, I don't know, 20 or 30 hours into it. It got a little bit repetitive at some point, but then again, a lot of games do. But yeah, I kind of like the game. I don't think the end of the story was particularly good, but yeah. I don't agree necessarily with some of the hate the game got. Okay, so that should mean, and you can see the connection actually happening. Again, super easy to see what is powered and what is not powered, because everything turns red when it isn't. It's always really nice to see very clearly what is working and what is not. And then the third thing was the Wolfram wire. Let me check, because I have a lot of Wolfram things. Yeah, Wolfram wire. Now I already have a facility set up producing Wolfram stuff over here. Apparently we already have plates. We are already using those plates in 2 other places, but this is why I super enjoy having these smart conveyor belts. So I've already set up 2 different factories that are using the wires. They are currently not working because I don't need to overproduce stuff. So that means I can just use the exact same setup, and I already have 800 wires stored in here. And I can just funnel that right into this facility. And I don't need to duplicate builds just because. Oh, it was the middle line that we needed to go to. There we go. I probably want to redo a lot of this logistics once we get the more advanced stuff going. Okay, so that means you can already see we have the tubes coming in, we already have the ceramics coming in, now we also have the wires coming in. Oh, these are actually level 1 wires, hold on. Another nice quality of life thing. I can select the level 2 wires that I have, and then just select the level 1 wires, and they get instantly replaced with the better equivalent. It does remove everything that's on the belt, which I guess makes sense. But it's super easy to upgrade stuff. So now we have the faster belt in place. Okay. Why are you spazzing out? There we go. that means we should now have inductors in production. Right. Can I... Why are the machines not working? It looks like they're not working. Oh, they are working. Never mind. The furnaces are just not as visual as some of the other machines, apparently. Okay. That means I am going to set up a storage depot. And there we go. Where are we gonna put that? Oh, I already had that set up. Never mind. Forgot about that. But it is actually not collecting anything until I tell it to. So there we go. We need inductors. We only need a couple of inductors, I think. I also need glass production. Now, if I remember correctly, glass is also made in the furnace. That would make sense. So that's the last missing item. But we don't have glass unlocked yet. I think I needed, what was it? Calcium powder? In order to unlock that. Let me double check. And this is where people usually get really confused, because you do have to figure out, okay, where do I actually need to go in order to unlock stuff? That was not what I was looking for, but it shows you with a nice little marker that you have stuff in your inventory that you can use to unlock stuff. So that is very convenient. Okay, right, so we needed helium-3 and we needed calcium powder. So apparently we need 600 calcium powder. I don't know how much helium-3 we need. I hope this is not 2500 but 250, because if that's the case I will probably have that. There's so much stuff that clutters up in your inventory every now and then. Alright, I actually need to show you what these are in a second, but let me try to stay on task for a moment. Hello? Misclicked. So it is 2500? Really? Oh, that's where the comma comes in, I guess. Ah, but that's going to be so annoying. Hold on, so what did I miss? So in order to make the intermediate building material, I need glass. And I need inductors. And what did I need to unlock the helium-3 thing? Oh, we have that. Never mind. Okay, that makes things a lot easier. That was the one we just unlocked, actually. Okay, so the helium-3 extractor. Can we build that with normal materials? I do hope so, because otherwise that still doesn't actually help me. Yes, we can. Okay, so now I actually need to figure out where I can mine helium, because the other materials are super obvious where you place them, but oh, it's over there. Is it? Oh, those are calcium deposits, right? Okay. Now I'm confused. Can be placed only on helium-3 deposits. Well, that makes sense, but where are those? I honestly don't remember seeing any of them. We might need to do some exploring. That's where my machine gun comes in. I mean, there are these small things on the ground. These are things you can mine. Those give you helium. But I am obviously not going to mine 2500. It's on the other side. Yeah, I've done a lot of exploring already, but I don't remember seeing the helium. But is it on... it's on the east side? Okay. That's this direction, right? Double checking. Yeah. Okay. I probably walked right past them in that case. Off to the helium place we go. In terms of rules, I have very few rules. My main rule is be nice. If not, please leave. But other than that, I mean, and by being nice, I mean be respectful to each other, preferably to me as well. But you can backseat game as much as you want. If you can tell me things, if I'm asking for things, then by all means tell me it. But I don't mind backseat gaming at all. Just try to be nice. Tell me how to do things differently, that's fine. Telling people that they're stupid, not as constructive. I really like the water, by the way, in this game as well. So I'm just doing a little bit of scouting. So that is calcium. That's radioactive, the big square you see over there. Actually, didn't realize there was another one of these geo thingies over there. Where was it? There. It's over there. I actually haven't been there. That might explain why I haven't seen the thingies. Okay. The helium-3, that is. So are we going east-east? Are we going there or there? Which you can't answer because there's a slight delay. Oh, hold on. Oh, hey, hello. Oh, I should have probably said this at the beginning. If you don't like spiders, if you have like arachnophobia, this game is not for you. You can't turn them off, and every single enemy that I've seen so far is basically a variation on a spider.
Changing mags.
And yeah, it's even jumping spider, so it's the worst kind of spider. Is it a bad thing? No, it's fairly easy, to be honest. I have not died at all in this game other than from my own stupidity. Are we going there? There's actually a couple things on the map that we should probably check out at some point as well. There is a limit on the map, by the way. At some point there's just radiation coming. But yeah. Oh, hello. Oh, I think I found the spot. Yeah, right over there. I had no idea this part of the map was here. So we're officially getting into new territory. I was on the other side of this mountain, I think, when I was exploring. But yeah. But yeah, deep attacks, I don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry. But yeah, I definitely think that they should include a arachnophobia setting. I do hope they are a little bit smarter about that than the satisfactory ones, because if you turn it on there, it's honestly just stupid. Just put in a different skin for the monsters that actually looks nice, but isn't a spider. I can't blame them for going with spiders, by the way, because they are horrifying. Oh, look, there's another one of those. Oh, hello. I have a grenade and I will use it. And of course, there's always a few people that don't go for the grenade. Okay, now if you thought that looked really easy, it was. But the grenade actually needs to recover, which is not time-based, but you need to either kill more enemies to unlock it, or you need to do some mining.
Looks good.
Oh, we have some new plants over here as well. Or you need to mine asteroids for some reason. Why? Mechanics. Now, was it on top here? Hold on, is this crystal or is this titanium? I'll stop complaining.
Necesito agua.
Also, by the way, there's plants underground that are by far the best ones. It's the glow caps. They give you calories and water, and quite a bit of it, actually. So, hold on, is this... that's not what I wanted to do. Hold on. Buttons! Okay, this is just titanium. It looked different. Is this also titanium? Okay. I mean, it looks a lot different from the other titanium, that's why I'm asking. I was hoping it was quartz, because we also need that at some point. Oh, have fun with your space engineers, if you're still seeing that. Yep, pure titanium. Okay. I lost track of where I was going. Or, I was about to say, we are close, right? It is right over there. Can we actually build from here? Nope, because we first need to set up a base. I'm probably going to put up the base here. Question mark? How do we get up there? One thing that is a little bit annoying, I don't actually think we can build stairs without platforms, can we? I actually haven't tried. No, we need a connecting platform, so that's really awkward. We can't build the ladders or the stairs until we have that. Guess that also holds for the walkway? Yeah, it does. Okay, it's fine. It's a bit weird, but it's fine. My engineer is not the best climber, though. But anyway, we can deal with that. So, okay, so let me set up a nice little base core. I did bring the meteors, right? Yeah, okay. I didn't actually think about that before we moved, but I think I had a stack of that in my inventory for exactly that reason. I'm gonna build this over here. So I can then take a ladder. Oh wow, that is completely useless. I mean, that that ladder doesn't extend all the way down. Okay, I do hope they will change that at some point, because that is funny but really useless. Okay, hold on. Then I'm gonna make this look a little bit prettier, because I do want things to look a little nice. And that's one. And then we are going to, I don't know, probably do something like this. Building is not stable. Really? That's because it's too high from the ground, or oh man, really? Okay. I'll be honest, I do not like this. I do like the fact that I can delete the entire stair in one go, but this seems like just making our lives difficult for no apparent reason. Can you probably work around that? Yes. Is that too much work for what? You got to use the extendable walkway. Does that work? Okay, let me try. A smooth ramp used to connect platforms. Sure. But it needs to be connected at both ends, I guess. Oh, that looks kind of cool, if that works. Okay, hold on. So, in that case, I need wind turbines anyway, so let's put down a wind turbine, I don't know, here. To have some power. Extendable walkway. Okay. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of this solution. But it gets the work done. Again, the fact that you have to build a receiving platform and you can't just place down a platform, but as far as I know, let me double check. I think all the platforms, yeah, all the platforms that I know of come with a building, so we actually need to place down a building rather than just a platform down there. It's a little bit awkward. Anyway, I don't want to complain too much because, again, the game just got into early access. And I think overall it's a really good experience, but these are just things that don't make sense in my mind. Oh wow, these buildings are kind of cool though. Okay, I have to just stress this. I love the visuals on this game. This looks just amazing. It looks like a trailer, like a CGI trailer, and you're playing the actual game. Okay, so we have those slots coming in. Are those on all sides? Did I just place it the wrong way around? Okay, yeah, I did. Okay. I didn't know it had a back and front. It looked pretty circular to me, but apparently that is not the case. But yeah, there is an actually indicator over here. So, okay. There we go. And then we can have the real connector over here to connect these things up. I do not like the fact that these things do not line up, but that's just my OCD. So let's have those. Let's have those, and then a storage depot, like so. And then hello. Now the real question is, will the helium-3 actually go in there? Or do we need a different type of storage for that? Nope, that will work just fine. How much are you going to produce? 8 per every 2 seconds, so that's 4 per second actually. Wow. Also, why are you not working? Oh, because you don't have power. That makes sense. Then I guess I'll just build some more wind turbines. I mean, not necessarily what I was trying to do here, but that's a lot of power for almost nothing. How am I doing on building materials, by the way? Ooh, I am really low on building materials. Okay. But yeah, we only needed some helium-3. Actually, because of the super high speed on these things, we actually want those to be on separate lines. Hold on. Because this actually produces enough stuff to fill an entire Mark III belt. Right? It's 4 per second. Yeah, that's an entire Mark III belt? Question mark. Let me double check. I just got these. 240 items per minute. Yeah, so it's a full. Okay. Then we'll just build some storage. Like so. And if we connect these things up, they will actually work. Assuming, of course, I actually instruct these things to collect resources. And I did not connect this one up yet. Clickety click, hello. Okay, this is the scrolling thing again. It's placing it lower than where you are aiming. Okay, so you fill up. Oh, it doesn't register. The second one doesn't register it because the other one is... Okay, never mind. I was wondering, why is that not working? Okay, I am going to need some helium. And I'm gonna need some silicon stuff. But while we're here, we might as well make the most out of it. Oh, there is apparently a dead body over here. I already walked past it 5 times. Those have nice stuff on them. So, for example, food.
Oh, just what I need.
Also, they have these LEMs on them, and these are things that you can slot into your body, literally your body. We are in a clone, so if you die, it's actually part of the game. So if you die, you're just recloned, because the corporation needs your body to work for you. But anyway. These upgrades are honestly not that impactful. I can't show it to them yet. We'll need to go back to the main base. But there's a leveling system with skills. Again, I'm not sure why it's in the game, because it doesn't really do anything, so it might as well not be there. And at the same time, I kind of don't want it to do anything, because I don't necessarily need to have too much survival in my factory games. But we find a lot of these things, and you can only slot in a few in your body. So anyway. I'm just looking around here. There is another whole base over there. There's another geological station. There's another base over here. There's, I think, a base over there as well. I didn't realize the map was so big. I thought like there were a couple of locations here. That was probably going to be it, because it's early access. But I have a feeling I'm going to be here for a while. So that means we're probably going to have to do quite a few more streams before we can wrap this up. But yeah, that's not a bad thing. Okay. I'm just thinking, because I kind of need to wait for these things to fill up. I am just gonna build a small, tiny little base out here because I know I'm going to need it at some point, and I'm gonna run out of materials before I do that, and then I'm gonna die. So I just want to have a hidey hole in here for the airlock. I really like, by the way, how you can customize your buildings. So it's super easy to just put in things like windows, machines, etc. You can stack them, you can combine them. It's not you can't really make a very pretty base yet, but I do like how this works. It is easy to work with. Look, now we have our own little hidey hole in case the sun decides to explode on us again. You are GM Corp. You are 60 hours into your first game. You still haven't finished the corporate levels. Yeah, I can imagine this. There's quite a bit of content in here. It does feel like things are slowing down a little bit. The real question is though, do I have enough ammunition to kind of prod one of those things? I'm just gonna go for it, because that will make exploring a lot easier. So, if this works like I think it will, we have that little building over there that we can activate. It's a geo sensor, I think, or something like that.
Ouch!
Watch out for the red plants.
Ow!
You could have warned me earlier.
Exactly. Okay, red plant's bad. Okay, I got it. I also like that I've had like, I think a dozen moments so far where my character literally says what I'm thinking. For example, you could have warned me earlier about the red plants. Okay, these things are radioactive. Yeah, so we don't want to necessarily be close to them, he says as he dives into it. I assume those will have a point at some point, but for the moment, it's just buildings that we kind of want to stay away from. These buildings, on the other hand, will help me explore. Now, before I click it, so there's a base over there. Oh, look, we just leveled up. We leveled up our movement. So this thing I definitely need to visit at some point. I initially thought I already visited it, but I visited a base close to it, I think now. Yeah, because I thought this base was that thing, but it's actually a little bit further down the map. We have a base over there. Oh man, so much stuff explored. But anyway, this will help. So
Geoscanner initialized.
this is going to attract bad things.
Changing mags.
As long as you keep moving, then most of these enemies aren't really a problem.
Reloading.
We have a shield, so as long as our shield stays up, or just make sure we don't take too much damage, we should be fine. Also, famous last words, because he will always see that after doing all of the fights offline just fine. I'm gonna die now. So the enemies are actually attacking, as you can see, the geosensor.
Reloading.
Which honestly is kind of nice, because that makes sure that they're not just relentlessly chasing you. Can they destroy it? I don't know. Oh, it's on 88% apparently.
Changing mags.
So it's not going to die instantly or anything like that. You can also see my grenade is only still at 29%, 32% now.
Reloading.
So it's not like you can just throw your grenades around all the time.
Changing mags.
I kind of like this position, by the way. It's quite defensible. Oh, that was it. Oh, I thought the 88% was its health, but it's actually the activation. You just need to survive until it's under 100%. Okay, so if we now look at the map. Okay, there's a few dead bodies on here, as well as some drones. So we can do the Ubisoft thing. Feels like I'm playing Assassin's Creed again. And go pick up all the things on the map. The drones in particular do have things like logic boards on them. You can see this one will give me 400 research. So I think I've already found enough stuff for most of the research. But there should be another dead body over here. sometimes there's a little bit of story content. So we have some
Ah,
ammunition over
gotcha.
here. War bombs are what you use to unlock new weapons and mods. I haven't actually done too much with that just
Good
yet.
stuff.
Making sure we have some water on us. Okay, what else? We have a monolith here. That's the thing that is radioactive. Let's go for that body over there. Yeah, I imagine that if you do filter protect it, it needs to start over, so that makes sense. So far, that hasn't happened to me in all the 2 activated. Oh, hello.
Reloading.
I was about to say, I hear you, I just don't see you.
Changing mags.
Yeah. Chill. Okay. Well, while we're here, we might as well do some exploring.
Reloading.
Is that like a super large one in the back, or does it look like one? It's actually not that big, I think. It was just the perspective making it look like huge.
Reloading.
I also think that the developers would do very well making sure that there is a passive mode.
Was that all of them?
Because I can imagine all this fighting is turning a lot of people off. Now, I have to say it's a relatively easy fighting, but I know a lot of people don't appreciate to have fighting in their factory games. But I also know there's a lot of people that do like the, you know, the danger lurking around. I'm going to make that jump. Also, I also definitely need to go down there at some point. Okay. They can actually jump that high. I was hoping they couldn't. Yeah, I'm in a poison cloud now that's disrupting my shield. That's what the blue ones do. Some of these do actually have more health than some of the enemies that you find earlier as well. So. The earlier ones actually just die with a single hit. I'm just gonna try and make the jump. Oh man, there's so many enemies around here. That was easy.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's go through the rubble. Storage box over here. I can hear the enemies.
Reloading.
It looks like looks like corners are actually a good way to kind of like zone them out. They seem to struggle with corners. Okay, I wasn't planning necessarily on making this a very large fight. They don't agree with that, obviously.
Reloading.
The only downside is that it seems that most of the time, whenever you kill creatures, they don't respawn. But the ones around the base, I don't know if they respawn necessarily, but some of them just keep spawning until you trigger some event. At least that's how it felt in one of the different bases, and one of the other bases. Just picking up everything. I'm stuck. Purpose damage the main plant might work. Help. Okay, well. People were in trouble in this base, that's obvious. Might also explain why the base is no longer intact. Do we need to go up here? I think we do. Usually the good stuff is somewhere on top. There's at least something here. Most of this stuff is all food, so that's not super interesting necessarily. Hello? I'm kind of stuck here. Am I not supposed to go here? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I mean, I'm almost out of ammunition for my machine gun, so I don't plan on staying here for too much longer. So now the real question is, can I use those stairs? Yeah, okay. And there we go. Okay, so there's a blueprint here. Rotor blueprint? So it's also here. That's interesting, because I found the rotor blueprint somewhere completely different. So apparently there's multiple. This is some more stuff. Okay. Hi Mom, hi Dad. Nothing changed in Arcadia. The weather is still terrible and the food isn't any better. Okay, well she's happy about her job. I don't think she was too happy once things started to blow up, but okay, I have to say, these things can't aim. Oh, hello.
Changing mags.
Are you done yet? Okay, are you done yet? Question mark? The music tends to calm down once you're out of enemies. Considering it's still going, there's probably still more enemies out there. Well, there's at least one of them. Okay, but I think I've... Oh, hello. I was about to say I think I have everything, but there's one more thing over here. I also want to explore the bottom level. Do I need to do that now though? I don't know. Stop exploding on me already. Oh yeah, I know I can use F to loot everything. I just, I like clicking the things, mostly because then I kind of register what I'm looting. Speaking of loot.
I can use this.
Oh, hello. You turn around and there's like 5 spiders behind you. Now, I do really hope that not all of those respawn once I leave, because that's gonna be a lot of work to clear them out again. Okay, let me read some of your comments, by the way, because I missed a lot of
Easy,
all that
WP,
fighting.
GG.
Prepare for a wave.
Oh, there's some bigger ones, even. Yeah. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I always take everything, but honestly, it seems like since you're mostly getting things like food and stuff like that, I just use them and then get them out of my inventory. I like having a single type of food, and considering the glow caps do everything I need and I don't need to manually craft them, I tend to clear the rest out of my inventory really quick. Okay, we have another rupture coming pretty soonish. We haven't gotten the warning just yet, but there is another drone here somewhere. Might as well grab those. And then we should have, how many? Yeah, we have 2,400 helium. Once all those storages are filled up, so we should be fine in that regard. Okay, so there's another one over here. I kind of do like the fact that we have a map. I like it and I sort of don't like it at the same time, if that makes sense, because right now I'm just looking at the map to see where I need to pick up things. Oh, okay, this was the one that I was going to go towards and then we got stuck on the plants. There we go. Most of these bodies and things that we find are not that interesting, to be honest. Oh, the wave warning, hold on. Oh, we should be able to make it. But this is why I built that hidey hole before. I'm actually gonna cut it pretty close. But this is why I built it before and not when I needed it. Well, we had some seconds to spare.
Rupture's eruption has started. Prepare for impact.
Okay. While we're here,
Extreme temperature.
since I can't do anything else anyway, let's build another corporate terminal here. So we need glass and synthetic silica. I was wondering what the new one for this one was, but the glass again. And now everything looks like blah again. Well, the thing is, and that's the downside of streaming and basically talking while you're doing things. You get distracted. This is also why a lot of people always say, yeah, you have like, and not necessarily to me, but just to content makers in general, like you have like this YouTuber blindness. The obvious thing was on your screen the entire time, but you just didn't look close enough for it. If you're talking and playing at the same time, you're literally doing two things at the same time. I'm a guy, I can do two things at the same time, so I'm gonna miss things when that happens, and it holds for pretty much every human person on the world, I think. But I'm looking forward to actually missing the warning at some point, just because I'm
Planetary
looking at something else and talking,
returning to normal.
and then dying in the process. But yeah. Yeah, and I did notice actually that the bugs are completely gone, so at this point we might actually just want to turn around for a moment and head back to... It's actually really hard to tell where we need to go. There. The bugs are not here for a very nice long time, so that is very convenient for people that don't like to deal with the screech. Oh, the plants are actually gone as well. Makes sense, they just got burned off. At the same time, it's really hard to tell what we're looking at. There's a lot of dead bodies down here, though. Now, at the same time, if you do this, you do want to make sure you're out of here when the bugs spawn.
I think I can use this.
I like the glowing things, by the way. Makes it a little easier to tell where you're going.
Alex, come in.
What's up?
Just as I thought, the core's overloaded.
Nicolas said everything was okay.
I think Nicholas is not okay.
I'm gonna kill him. Do you know where he is?
I bet he's out gathering those plants of his. Either way, he's out of range. Tried texting him.
All right, never mind. I'm gonna report this.
I'd hold off. If he finds out you reported him again, he won't fix the core.
Okay, so we wait for him. He fixes the core, I report him to Clever, and then I kill him.
Maybe you should just break his legs, so he doesn't keep going to and fro.
Okay, so we wait for him. He fixes the core, I report him, kill him. We print him a new sleeve, and then I break his legs.
I like these audio messages. I actually prefer those over the things you have to read. Not that I don't like reading, don't get me wrong, but especially when you're exploring, you kind of don't want to just sit there and read for a long time. At least it might just be me. But the audio things I think are kind of nice because you can continue to explore while you listen to them. Also give a bit more character. This corridor is so long. Yeah, I'm not gonna explore the entire thing now. I do want to check that side path. Was it here? Looks like there's another drone over there. Is there anything of interest over here? It seems like we already got all the good stuff. So where was the drone? Over there. So all of this stuff, not really worth it, it feels. Okay, based on the sounds and the squelching, I have a feeling that I'm running into something. That was 2,000 resource points, so that's quite a lot. It seems some sort of resource, to be honest. Potentially, maybe. I don't know. But let's get back to the helium. preferably without dying to spiders. Or radiation, you know. I do really like these biomes. Yeah, I am going in the right direction. Actually exploring a little bit of the map as we go. The yellow area is the resource area. Safe just after a rupture, but normally safe. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I have a feeling that the game is about to really expand once I get access to that secondary building resource. Because that allows me to get that logistics going on, and it makes it so much easier to just build, basically tap into all the different resources that we have on the map and kind of build a main base. As far as I am aware, we can't actually build multiple levels on the base, so you do need to spread out your base anyway. But yeah, I have so much stuff on me. Hold on. Ooh, fall damage is a thing. Personal storage. I'm just gonna dump some of this stuff in there. We don't really need all of this. I just keep the most basic stuff on me, and that's gonna be sufficient. Heavy ammo. I don't have a heavy gun at the moment. Yeah, this should be fine, I think. All the other stuff is research, so we do want to make sure we have that. Actually, that's a good point. I can just make a research station here. Analyzing station, there we go. And actually, yeah, and that actually also holds for the helium. I don't need to bring it back. I just research it here. That's a fair point. Okay, logic boards. We don't want to use these, by the way. Mostly because they're not that valuable, but we can also use them for other stuff. Logic boards, splitters, more splitters, or spitters, or whatever they're called. Okay. Security device, as well as the energy storage. Okay, so that is 8,000 points. What are we going to use them on? I don't know, but let's build the recipe station here as well. And then let's go and grab the helium. Okay, do I have to say, I kind of like the change of scenery because that keeps things interesting. At the same time, it looks so bleak every time the rupture happens. That makes me a little sad. But yeah, that's kind of the point, I guess. Okay, let me use the smart button now. Okay, that is 800. Oh, crap. This one is going to start moving. Doesn't matter, we should have plenty, but that was the wrong button. E first, then F. Okay, let's sort that. So that's 500, 1,000. Oh, sorry, it's actually only 400 per. So 400, 800, 1,600. So we actually need a little bit more. Do I have enough space in my inventory for that? So we have 500, 1,000, 1,600, 1,700. Yeah, we basically have exactly enough space, especially if I just eat this
tasty
stuff. This is increasing my firearm swap speed by 12%, and this is reducing my fall damage by 20%. Well, I should probably put that one on at some point. Meanwhile, what is this base called? Let me make a note of that. This is Warm Dawn, so we found the rotor here as well. Okay. Should have plenty of this stuff, right? Yeah. The nice thing is the machines do keep producing, so they stock up a full stack of all the stuff themselves as well. Okay, so let me see. Let's sort again. 500, 1,500, 2,100. We do actually need slightly more. make sure we grab those.
Great.
Okay, I think that should do the trick. So now for the long trek back to our home base. Well, actually not entirely back to our home base. Let's just empty out the inventory before we do that, so we can pick up stuff we find along the way. Trying to play it a little bit smarter. So to the furnace, we want to unlock glass. That is done. That's great. There was some other thing we can unlock in here as well. Do we need helium for that as well? It's telling me I have resources for this, but I don't see what it is. That's weird. Anyway. This also needs helium, so I might as well put that in. There is a lot more stuff to unlock there, by the way. But anyway, let's see. We need some... what was it? Calcium dust thingies. I think I still have that. Let me double check my base. So that we can start making some glass, and then once we have glass, we can start processing some more.
Arcadia status stable.
Yay, everything is stable again. Am I going in the right direction? Yes. There's also apparently a drone here somewhere. Probably up on that ridge though. Yeah, there it is. Might as well collect those as we go. There's also a body right ahead of me. Okay, now look at this. This looks amazing, and that's even without me making a particularly good looking base. I do think actually the generators, the protective units, are what makes the game look so awesome. There is supposed to be a body right here. Is it like below? There we go.
I can use this.
Okay, my calcium base is right ahead. I'm just killing creatures whenever I encounter them, because again, it doesn't look like they're respawning, so I might as well do that.
Changing mags.
So I don't need to do it next time. Is that all of them? Yeah. Can I launch myself along with my resources when I unlock that thing? Oh, nice little detail, by the way. The water actually dries up, as you can see. But it does come back. The regenerative capabilities of this planet are awesome. Really impressive, to be honest. Okay. But they do respawn every... Well, the ones that are close to where you build your bases don't, so that might just be because of the shields. Because I'm 100% sure that in this area there were monsters before, and that was way more than 3 ruptures ago, but it makes sense if they don't respawn next to your base. Let me double check what I needed. So, not the fabricator. Furnace. 600 calcium powder. Oh, the floaty stair thing is a little bit annoying. Anyway, this makes calcium powder, sure. But you're not doing that right now. Because you don't have access to... Well, you actually do have access, I think, right? To the blocks. It's been a while since I was here. So... Hold on. I'm making blocks here. The blocks go in the storage. Where does the storage go? It goes in here. So you do have calcium powder. I apparently just never set the storage. Hold on. You make calcium powder over here, so this needs... Okay, there we go. I planned ahead and then I messed it up. I did this a few days ago, I think even. Because I haven't really done anything with calcium for a very long time. Hey, you're not working. Did I not connect you up? Oh, hold on. This I completely messed it up when I built this. This line is actually going in the wrong direction. Everything else connected correctly? I think that works. Yeah, okay. Okay. How to inefficiently fill your thing. Okay, let me upgrade those rails to level 2. That will definitely help. There we go. I do like the fact that the resources are completely... Oh, I'm hitting the mic there, sorry. That all the resources are completely unlimited. So that really helps to get things efficient. I don't like factory games where resources run out, usually. There's some exceptions to that, but... yeah, I know once I upgrade the core level, things will be attacked. I am actually wondering when we will do that, so while we're waiting for that calcium to stock up. Because I remember checking the cores like way back and think like, I don't know what any of these resources are, so I'm not going to worry about that. I am also nowhere near overheating my core, so I'm not sure when we will need to upgrade this. I think the very first core that I built might be closer, but definitely not close. Oh, there's 5 levels. Jeez. Okay, so we need a lot of meteorites for that. We need a lot of helium for that. We need... Well, actually, I have all of these things. I mean, I'm producing all of these things with the exception of the meteorites. Oh, but having to go around and find 30 of them, that's gonna take a minute. Upgrading them will draw the attention, so you need to prepare for that. Okay. That's something I'm gonna have to figure out soonish. I'm probably not going to be playing for much longer. It's approaching way past 11 in the evening here. But I will probably just be streaming every time I play this game, and next time will probably be Friday night. Around 9-ish probably Central European time. And then I'll probably play for like 2 or 3 hours, something like that. That's usually my cadence on weekdays. I do have an actual day job, so unfortunately no playing during the day for me.
I can use that.
That is 400. 450-ish. We still need a little bit more. The production rate on this is 1 per second, though, times 4-ish. Yeah. So 4 per second is really quick. Yeah, that is enough. Okay. This is where we go back. I forgot where my entrance was. I should probably make more than one entrance. And then let's see. Okay, now we have glass unlocked as well. So we have the inductors in production now. We did a lot of exploring. We have glass available to us. Now the main thing what I want to know is what I need to make glass. We need to do that in a furnace. Oh let me check that out. Let's put one of those down. Of course, I put it in such a way that it's extremely high. I can't actually jump on top of it. There we go. Okay, glass needs calcium powder. That makes sense. Is calcium powder already in my list? Yes, it is. What else do we need? We need helium-3. Again, that makes sense. So let me update my spreadsheet. Glass. Is that going to be on a new list? I ordered them a little bit. Anyway, it's fine. Glass. How fast are we producing this? We are producing 1 every 3 seconds. So we need 3 times as many furnaces as we need glass per second. Then we need 1 helium. So I am actually going to need to add in helium-3 to my list as well. And helium-3 was producing at what? 4 per second, right? Which is really nice. And then we need calcium powder times 2. So for every glass, so helium is equivalent to the amount of glass that we want to produce, and then calcium powder we need twice as many. So we need 2 calcium powder per second if we want to produce 1 glass per second. So I'll put that in the spreadsheet. So let me double check if that makes sense. So 1 glass is 2 calcium powder is 1 helium-3 per second. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm actually thinking about this for a moment. Once we just have a little bit of glass, we can unlock the new resource thingy, right? Speaking of which, I should probably make sure I stock up on some of that. Well, let me double check. Recipe, yes. So we have inductors now. We definitely have more than 100. We only need 100 glass. And so what I can actually do is just bring some of the powder with me, go back to the helium place, and then make some glass there, unlock this, and then do I know what I need to in order to make this? I mean, I assume it's going to be some of the base materials along with some of these materials. I actually don't know, because I don't think it necessarily makes sense that way. But anyway, what I was thinking was maybe we set that up. We don't actually want to set up the entire infrastructure. That was also my point. If we're going to replace that infrastructure like a few minutes later with the more advanced version. So yeah, I think it makes sense to do that manually. But in that case, I probably want to go and pick up some inductors first, make sure we unlock that. Then pick up some of the powder that has collected in the meanwhile, pick that up, and then, just to be safe, also pick up some plating, and then we go back to the helium place, make some of that glass, sorry, and then unlock the stuff, and then we can work our way from there. But I think that is a nice little set of projects for next time. So thank you guys so much for joining into my completely unexpected live stream. And once again, if you want to join me again, I will be live on Friday around 9 Central European time. And you're more than welcome to join in the backseat game all you want, share whatever you want to share. As long as you keep it nice and clean in the chat, then feel free to talk about whatever you want and just come and chill out with me, game a little bit, and we'll have fun like that. So with that awesome view of the not so awesome sun, I thank you for your attention, and I do hope to see you in the next